Well, Kerckhoffs here. Sunny day in Carlsbad, California, although it rained a little bit earlier. Anyway, today I'm going to color this big guy here. This is a 45 by 30 inch photo of a beach in La Jolla. At first I didn't know what the beach was called, so I call it La Jolla Beach. However, I met a lifeguard once who used to work at this beach, and he told me this is called Wipeout Beach. So this is a little bit south of the children's pool in La Jolla, California. So we're going to use my Marshall photo oils to color this, and I'm going to use cotton rounds and Q-tips to put the color on. Let's do it! So I'm going to start with the sky again, which is pretty common for me. I like to start with big surfaces instead of doing details first. So I'm using a cotton round, put some sky blue on it, and I'm rubbing it into the sky. I'm really just adding color now. I'm not really making sure that it's all nice and uniform. Also, I don't mind if I go over the lines yet. I will smooth it all out later. I believe when I shot this photo the sky was actually cloudy, overcast. But I like the contrast between blue of the sky and the ocean and the warmer colors of the beach, so I decided to add blue to the sky here. It's a lot of the same, it's a big photo, so I'll just go through this quickly. And now I'm smoothing it out with a clean cotton round, so you won't see any brush strokes anymore. I mean, sometimes it's okay, but I like to have my skies look like nice and clean, very smooth, what a blue sky normally looks like. My wife once accused me of that I colored my photos sometimes too precise. You wouldn't even know if it was hand colored. Oh, there's no brush strokes, very clean lines. So sometimes now I on purpose add some, well, I wouldn't say mistakes, but I wouldn't correct certain things. So it's all smoothed out, and I'm making it a little lighter towards the horizon. And now with a clean Q-tip, cotton swab, I'm cleaning the areas where I went on the houses. I'm always wearing gloves because oil paint is slightly toxic, also depending on which colors you use. But no matter what color I use, I always use gloves. Q-tips have two sides to them. I always use up both sides, and I also like rotate them, so I'm always mostly working with the clean side of a Q-tip when I remove paint. You can also use cotton rounds, Q-tips to add paint. So but when there's a lot of small details, then I use Q-tips to add color. same sky blue to add to the ocean. There's going to be a mix of colors in the ocean. I would like to have most of the ocean this sky blue, and then like the more shallow part I will add viridian, which is like an aquamarine. This blue looks different from the sky, but that's really because the ocean has a darker grayish tone, and it's the grays underneath the paint, because the paint is transparent, that gives it a different saturation. It desaturates. The grayer underneath, the more desaturated your colors are. And again, now I'm smoothing out. You can see how it looks like a big mess, the ocean now, but now I'm using another clean cotton round to smooth it out. I'm going left and right, so I'm kind of following like the pattern that's already in the ocean. You don't want to go really upside down, because you might still see some brush strokes, and you kind of want to follow the movement of the water. And then on top here, I again went onto the bluffs with the blue, and I'm removing that now. There's some white water where the waves crash on the beach, on the rocks, and I'm cleaning that up now too. So this becomes nice and white again. I shot this photo a couple of years ago, and I used my 10-stop neutral density filter for this, which allows you to do very long exposures even in broad daylight. I believe I took this around noon or so, or early afternoon. And without that filter, you just cannot get the exposure short enough, even at the lowest ISO value. This was probably more than half a minute, or maybe even a minute. I have to compose the photo before I put the filter on, because you really don't see anything when you look through a filter like that. Only when there's the sun involved or some bright lights, you'll be able to see those. But in this case here, I couldn't see anything. So this is that viridian. And again, I'm putting it on a little too thick, but I'd like to work that way, putting it on thicker, and then later I decide how thin I want it. So now I'm both smoothing it out, but also thinning the paint. So now I'm looking for a nice color that's very light to emphasize the shallowest areas here. And then my favorite color, burnt sienna. I'll add that to the bluffs in the distance, but also in the beach and in the rocks in the front here. But then again, change the thickness, so it actually looks like I use different layers. But when it's finished, it kind of looks like there's different colors that I use, but most of it is actually this one burnt sienna. And then I would like to keep like a white clear area between the blues of the ocean and the beach. That's where where the waves broke. I would like to keep that white, so I'm trying to stay away from the blues, and then later I will soften up the edges with a clean cotton round. There's a big surface to do, so again I'm speeding it up. Probably used several cotton rounds to do this. They kind of get, in the end they start falling apart when there's too much paint on it. So now again I'm doing two things at once, smoothing it out and making it thinner where I want less color. You can see on the left, right there, I kept a little clean edge on the beach so I can hold on to the photo. This one's big, so normally I like to work flat on the table, but this one's so big I couldn't do it. So I have it on my easel. It's a little harder to work this way, but it's pretty much the only way I can record it with the equipment that I have. Of course I could have just colored the whole thing at once, going from the beach right onto the rocks, but I like to do it this way because it kind of know then where I want certain colors, and sometimes I change my mind too. So if I have done the beach, I may have want to say add sepia to the rock. So I kind of follow the objects when I color them. Not always, but in this case I did. Again, this is still the same color as I used on the beach, and you can see it looks different. Two reasons: it's a little thicker on the rocks, and there's some more different gray values going on the rock. Okay, I finished the piece. As you can see, I put a nice barnwood frame on it, and then the piece itself, after it's dry, I put on this texture coating called a crackular texture coating, which gives it a nice finish. So if you like this, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.